Okay. Great. Thank you for everybody being here tonight to join this event. So this is an event about mindfulness. Make sure you are in the right place. Okay, just be kidding. So today we have a topic that's about the internet. So during the third part of today's session, let's look at internet. I guess almost everybody's life is now conditioned on internet. Is it? And it has a very huge impact on everyone's mind in one way or another. Sometimes the impact can be very tangible, but for many influences, they are very subtle. Unless we are able to develop the sensitivity to that, or else it always pass on the bridge and can give us a lot of troubles. So today, in this session, let's examine many parts about internet. So before the event starts, I would like to invite you to reflect a little bit. So I'll give you 2 minutes to think about what you are most grateful for in the past 1 week, or 1 month, or 1 year, or whenever. I think everyone could find those things to be thankful for, right? Those things. Something that you receive as a help from other people. Something you might feel a little annoying at first, but maybe that lesson is also something we can be grateful. So, if you have noticed what you are grateful for just in the past 2 or 3 minutes, that very awareness is the whole part of mindfulness practice. Oh. Sorry, welcome. Yeah. Sure. The awareness is the whole part of the mindfulness practice. Think about how many moments in our life we have lost the awareness. So when we are wanting something, are we still aware of that we are wanting something? When we are annoyed by something, do we notice that we are annoyed? Or just complaining about the things that annoys us? The awareness is everything in mindfulness practice. Sounds very simple, is it? But maybe we have noticed it. Losing the awareness or being without awareness has been a very strong mental habit for most of us. So from the perspective of the biology, think about our human minds, the brain, or we simply call it the mind. What's the function of the mind to you? What's the function of it? Does the mind make us a machine to think, or it serves a different purpose, which we might not notice yet? To survive, we need to be aware of the situation, right? We need to be mindful of the danger, the pitfall, the traps. So in that regard, isn't the mind serving as the awareness? Because the mind, we are able to aware of something. That's why we could survive generation to generation. But look at what we are doing now. Nowadays, not this moment. Nowadays. we have changed ourselves to something else. A machine to think, overthink all the time, by creating all kinds of thoughts to bring us the pleasure. Inevitably, the pain at the same time. Think about the entertainment we have created in the past 100 years. Think about everyone's petty mind. How petty is it? The mind is so easy to be disturbed, upset, annoyed by any small things. Have we really given attention to that or not? It seems that we have a very strong habit to complain, the tendency to blame others for the misery, for the issues. Here, it's not a meeting where we just criticize somebody. No. Let's just look at the mind. Everyone probably in a different situation have something different that annoys you, upsets you. But the mind works in the same way. So that's why we have this session to meditate. Meditate is not only about sitting here to observe breath. That's called breath meditation. But when I say meditation, it's different stuff from breath meditation. So as we said before, the awareness is the only thing we focus on as part of the meditation. Or that's the only task in meditation. So now let's think about what is a meditation. Is meditation another entertainment program, like a TV or a movie we can watch to relax ourselves? Or is meditation something very different from what we think? Or is something too common, but we neglect because of losing the awareness? Is meditation something belonging to a religion? Or is meditation something very mysterious? There are so many articles on the internet trying to tell you what is a meditation. And it seems that we are very interested in reading that text. Oh yeah, nice. Meditation. Oh no, meditation is a very big industry. Oh, making a lot of money. But letting go all the concept, what is meditation to us, to everyone? Isn't meditation our life? Isn't our life meditation? Why is it so difficult to meditate for many people? Probably it's very difficult because for most people, it's very difficult to make a life, to live a life. If we don't understand what is meditation, probably that's why we don't understand what's life, or the other way around. So today, everybody is sitting here on the sofa or chair to think, to reflect, but think about in your daily life. How many moments do you have for yourselves to sit in this way, to reflect? How many times, how many moments do you have to think and reflect in solitude? Do you notice that our mind is always seeking something, always seeking? Even you sit alone, your mind is always seeking something. Have you noticed the tendency to seek an answer, to seek a solution to your life issues? But have you considered why you are bothered by so many questions arising from your life? And because these questions, you want to seek answer to it, to each of the question. Doesn't mean that you are confused about your life, are you? Because confusion, that's why we have a lot of questions. And when we try to seek answer to the question, we only add more confusion to life. When you are not confused at all about your life, you have no questions at all. Because you are not bothered by that question at all. But when you are confused about your life, you can be bothered by any question. And also the pain to seek an answer to some questions which won't be answered in any way. So that's why we need to examine our mind by everyone themselves. Because if you understand how your mind works, you will get clarity. With that clarity, you won't be bothered by any questions about your life. So to meditate means that we need to understand the nature of the mind to get that clarity, not to answer questions. But with that clarity, we can recognize how ridiculous sometimes the questions are. It isn't worth answering at all. But because of our mindless state, we always want to try to find an answer. So the clarity is a key to understand how the mind works, to truly understand yourself. Therefore, you understand everybody. And your suffer stops. Because when you have clarity, what are you suffering from? Suffering from clarity? Not possible, right? So our suffering is always related to our confusion. I think before today's session, many of us have started reading all kinds of books, listening to different speakers, or watch all kinds of videos to try to understand this part. It might help, but the true understanding of the mind only comes from your observance. You need to observe your own mind. At this moment, non-judgmentally. Letting go all the past experience and the knowledge. You don't need to rely on any theory to interpret your mind. No point doing that. A lot of scientists are very crazy about doing that, but that's their hobby. It's not our interest. Just observe it. Can we? Don't judge it. Don't interpret it. Don't refer to a theory. Today we have a 2-hour session. Probably I will speak a lot in this session. But even in that situation, you shouldn't take what I said seriously. Because if you take what I said seriously, you regard me as the authority to guide you. And you are wrong. Because anyone outside you who wants to guide you can always mislead you. We communicate via languages. My tongue, my very imperfect English, maybe Chinglish, can perfectly distort your understanding of the content. The only way to understand yourself is you are observing yourself. And if there's something you should be serious about, that's your mind, your mental state. That's the only thing you are really serious about. for anything else. Even what I said here, at this moment, you shouldn't take it very seriously. Because any dependent way of thinking will destroy you. If you think, oh, Cico is saying something very wonderful, very right, and you begin to depend on what I said, and you will be misled by that. Here, let's only talk about how to observe the mind properly. But for the rest, it's up to you, everybody here, to observe it, which is the most of the job. That's why we call it the inward exploration. To see how the mind works, nobody else can help you, only yourself. So just a few minutes ago, we said that to observe it means that it happens at this moment, not in the past, not in the future. You need to observe it at this moment, non-judgmentally. You can notice, oh yeah, I'm a little angry now, but you don't need to judge it. Oh, it's too bad that I'm angry. Don't do that. Just observe it. Okay, I'm a little excited now. But even you observe it, you don't need to say it. Just notice it. You don't need to use any verse to describe it. Just observe it. Can you? And letting go of your past experience. This moment is your observance, nothing to do with your past experience. Can you let go of the past experience when you observe your mind? Can you let go of any knowledge you have accumulated about your mind? Let go of any knowledge. Just observe your mind with a very fresh heart. No interpretation, no judgment at this moment, no past experience, no past knowledge. That's the way to meditate. So now, let's meditate for 2 minutes. Just observe your mind at this moment. Shall I repeat again? Non-judgmentally, at present, that's letting go of any past experience or knowledge. Let's do it now for 2 minutes. So I think everybody spends 3 minutes in looking inward. You see, in that moment, if you have nothing to want, nothing to desire, you are in solitude. Being in solitude doesn't mean you are alone. But it's a moment that you look within. Just stay with your heart, no matter where you are. And this observance will give you everything you want. I mean, mentally. It will give you the whole picture of the mind. So that's the first part of today's meditation session. There are 4 parts in total. Actually, I forgot to introduce. But the first part, let's just look at meditation in general. And the second part, let's meditate together for 15 minutes. The third part, we have a long topic, the big topic to discuss today, the internet. It's probably about 50 minutes or something. And after that, we have break, maybe 5 minutes. And the last part is another meditation because we spend energy today looking inward and everybody's mind is very active. So we need to calm down again by meditating. And then we can live here with peace and calm. But before we move to the second part of meditation, let's come back to the breath meditation. The first part, probably you know what is meditation about, and you will definitely know better what is breath meditation, to focus on the breath. So I guess most of us has done that already before, right? So I think everybody knows basically what is breath meditation. Focus on the breath. But in that very meditation, we need to keep our awareness to notice that when we are breathing in, be aware that we are breathing in. That's also very important. Your focus is on the sensation of breath. This can be the nostrils here, or belly, or wherever you feel most. That's the focus, the sensation of breath. This can be your foot. Can be your foot. If you feel that your foot is still relevant to the breath, it doesn't matter. But you need to be aware that you are breathing in, you are breathing out. Because that awareness is a key of meditation. And during the breath meditation, I guess most people have the feeling that the thoughts can pop back to carry us away. So we still need to have the awareness of the thought. When the thoughts pop up, notice that it's a thought and try your best not interact with the thoughts. Continue focusing on the breath. This part strongly rely on your awareness. And that's also the thing you need to cultivate during the meditation, the breath meditation. To be aware of your attention, where your attention is. Probably it's more important than what is you are focusing on, though you are still focused on the breath, the sensation. But you shouldn't lose awareness. For many people, probably it's a little difficult at first because overthinking has such strong habit for many of us. So if you are always carried away by thoughts in meditation, it's no big issue. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize yourself because it's super normal. Just accept it and come back to breath time and time again. So if we want to define what is a successful meditation, we can see that as long as we can come back to breath time and time again, that's a success. And you are cultivating that awareness. It's just a matter of time. If you're doing it diligently, give your attention, this awareness will come back very shortly. So that's why we find it's pretty good to keep doing breath meditation regularly. Because if we are able to cultivate the awareness in that meditation, we can reuse that awareness to your life. In your life, no matter what you think, what you do, it's only a habit, isn't it? We are controlled by millions of habits. And having awareness is also a habit. If you cultivate regularly via meditation and use it in your daily life, this habit is becoming stronger and stronger. And with that awareness, you are mindful, right? So that's why that's what we will do in the second part, meditation, breath meditation. Focus on the sensation. Notice your breath circle. In breath, out breath. Notice the thoughts. And try your best not interact with the thoughts. Come back to breath time and time again if you are lost. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Just do it. No judgment. Shall we do it now? 15 minutes. And for the gesture, it doesn't matter. It can be the Bob style. Bob. Or you can sit in this way. It doesn't matter. So just find a position you feel comfortable. Okay? You can also sit on the cushion if you want. It doesn't matter. Let's take 15 minutes meditation, and then we can come back to the third part of the session. How does everybody feel now? Good? Tired? Relaxed? Does everybody feel that some thoughts just keep popping back to your mind when you try to focus on the breath? You might notice that you can't control your mind. Can you? You can't stop the thoughts. It always appears. And what you can only do is to not care. I don't mind. I don't care about that. And then you are not bothered. So physically, no care means you don't interact with thoughts. You focus on breath in meditation, right? That means the physically never mind. But think about your daily life. If you always never mind, will you be still bothered by all kinds of things?
No, but shouldn't you be bothered by some things?
Bothered about what? If you don't care about that, are you still bothered by that or not? No. So we can say that practically for everyone's issues, all kinds of issues, the essence is only two words: never mind. But it seems that everybody minded. I do mind. So that's the issue. You want to show your care, to show your responsibility.
Sometimes you need to care. Let's put an example. You have a deadline or a date for an exam or a test or something. You need to put pressure on yourself to prepare for it. So if you say never mind, then
So you need to think about wholly, to step back. So why you are in that situation? You know your own answer. Everybody knows their own answer, right? Why we need to think about why we are in that situation. To finish by some deadline. What kind of factors lead to that situation? If you never mind, will you be in that situation or not? Or when you are in that situation, you say, oh, never mind. That's different, never mind.
let's say you have an exam for a specific date and you need to prepare well in advance, but you didn't, and then you need to rush over.
So, for example, for this examination here, if you have prepared well enough, are you still worried about the deadline or not? Or do you still mind the deadline or not? Sometimes we only do things by the deadline. And we keep being idle for most of the time until the last moment. And then we just cunningly use the two words, never mind, to say, oh yeah, never mind, for self-comfort. That's not the never mind we mean here. There are other factors lead to that situation. And we need to look at that factors. Like, aren't we easily distracted or not? If so, isn't any distraction is a manifestation that we mind it. We care about that. That's why we get distracted. Think about the accumulation of all these kinds of distractions. We care about that, we care about this, and then we don't have time to prepare for exams. And then we want to say, oh, never mind, to comfort myself. You see, because we care too much, it's difficult for us to concentrate. And over time, energy has been dissipated until the last minute when oh yeah, I need to finish about that line. Oh, never mind, I'll be okay. You see how cunning our mind is in this situation. We are all cunning in one way or another. We need to notice that the cunning side of the mind. And just back to the topic of all kinds of negativities we are going through. Depress, anxiety, worry. Ultimately, the consequence of the thoughts that we care about. We are always playing with the thoughts in a game of thinking. We get caught up in the web of thoughts. What does thoughts give you? The thoughts give you fear. Right? Of course, some thoughts give you pleasure. You want to hold on to that thought. But thoughts also give you fear. Doesn't worry manifest fear? Doesn't anxiety manifest fear? When you interrupt that thoughts, you are into that thoughts. You care about that thoughts. You mind it. And those emotions are unavoidable. Why does everybody feel relaxed and peace after 15 minutes meditation? Probably you are still distracted by thoughts, but you always come back to breath. That 15 minutes give you a space that you are breaking the habit, breaking the pattern of thoughts. You are doing non-thinking because you try your best to focus on breath and notice it. Think about, so at the beginning of the session, we said that our mind serves as function as a awareness, not a machine to think. Because when we are in a pattern of thoughts, there's no space for awareness at all. You focus on thoughts, you lose the awareness. And today's topic is about internet. We are all conditioned on the internet, aren't we? Everybody has a phone, a smartphone. We use all the time in our daily life. We find it very convenient, just like internet. But think about, there's no internet. How much do you still alive with your phone? it seems that you love your phone. Probably you love the internet. The phone is the only device. When you get it, you only be interested in a few days. After that, you only interested into the internet. Past, we mentioned we have all kinds of addictions, drugs, smoking. Can we say that mobile phone or internet is also an addiction? So, up to 2019, the internet has been available for 50 years. Definitely, the popularity only pop up in the past 20 or 30 years. But from the first day the internet was born, up to now, half a century, the human beings has gone through one of the fastest change across all human history because of the internet. Probably we need to step back to think about a little bit why the internet can be so crazy, why it can take over this planet in such a short time. Another question. Do we have to use internet or not? If we have to, think about the people in the past 2,000 years. How can they survive without internet?
People are longing for communication.
Mm-hmm. People are longing for communication. And other comments about this part? Why is the internet becoming so popular in short time?
Internet offers you an infinite distractions. You can just go from one thing to another.
Mm-hmm.
And your feed is always filling itself. Never ends.
Yeah. It's all about our mind. Because the mind, thanks to the mind, the internet can be so popular in short time, right? We want to fill our mind because everybody fear being empty. Do they? Nobody wants to be empty. Everybody wants to be something. Do they? If I say that our mind, our soul is really empty, how do you feel now? You have an empty soul. I also have an empty soul.
Isn't it true that what most people fear is not so much emptiness, but what lies between emptiness and normal conscience, dark fears, kind of things they normally don't think about.
Maybe, right? We all have the tendency to be something. And we don't like to be bored. We always want to find something to do. With that excuse that, oh, I want to keep myself up. So I want to do something. Let's play a game. Let's sing together. because this tendency has been lost for the whole human history. We can't really stand being empty because we always want to avoid the fact that we are empty. So this tendency to feel something in the mind, to keep it full, to keep it busy, has been a strong habit. But nothing comes as convenient as internet. In the past, if you need to organize an event, it might take you a lot of time and energy. But now you can just watch TV or the YouTube binge. You don't do anything, just sit at home to feel in yourself how convenient it is to feel the mind. Now, who can resist this convenience to feel the mind? So to speak, internet has become one of the most important tool to kill time for this generation. Past 1 or 2 generations, we found a new tool to kill time. And we can communicate more with more people. Hope so. I hope so. Via internet. So, this kind of a fundamental craving for not being empty give the chance to the internet to thrive. So now, even for the young kids, in their 15 years old now, they have a new phenomenon. It's called internet bullying. Because they are so into the comments of other people. They care about their self-image so much and care about anybody's comment on that. And the internet is such a very convenient way to give comments, to interact with any people on this planet. So now we have this kind of internet bullying for young people. Here, we don't judge what is good or not, because we are still using it. Probably you are still using it after this event. The thing is not to not use it, but to be noticed the influence on us, little by little. In the past, when there's no telephone, no internet, our life circle is very small, only limited to a small town. Probably you have only about 20 friends or 30 friends at that time. And your communication is not very fast. Probably you need to wait a few days to get a reply from other people. But now look at, it seems that we have much more friends than in the past. Is that really true or not? Probably you have many Facebook friends, but are they real friends or not? Probably it's another thing we need to think about. Think about communication. If you send somebody a message and they won't reply you in maybe half an hour, you become anxious. And in the past, probably before some people's time, when people have no reply for 3 days, nothing, it's okay. But now, only half an hour. You are dying for that message. Think about the change of a mental situation. It seems that the internet makes everything efficient. That's it. Very efficient. But it seems that everything is ruthless. Is it? The efficiency sacrifice of life. We want efficiency for what? Here, I don't deny it, but let's think about that. We want efficiency for what?
Maybe it's a key word for economic success.
What's the point of the success of economy in that situation? And then everybody get bored. Let's reflect for 2 minutes about this question. What's the purpose of efficiency?
Is this a question to everyone? I would say efficiency is that you strive to do as less unpleasant things as possible within a certain time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Efficiency is doing things with as quick as possible with the less resources involved. In that sense, it's very efficient. For example, the communication level has totally changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess you're asking something more philosophical.
Mm-hmm. So isn't efficiency a consequence of comparison?
Yes.
Comparison.
I think it is, as we all want to get the most out of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing everything as quick as possible
Sure.
or as efficient as possible, you have more time to do everything and to try to get everything out of your life, just as you see around you, what others do.
That's our thought. We think in that way, right? But what's the true situation? What's the true situation? So more time. So we try to be more efficient.
But isn't efficiency like a way of nature to save energy? Because if you're more efficient, then you have few energies, the probability of surviving is higher. No?
Yes, so you have more energy to do anything else.
Yeah, now we are in this situation, but I think efficiency is inherent in ourselves.
Because here, the question is not about to deny efficiency, but we need to think about the purpose of efficiency. We think that we want to save time for more things. But the thing is that, does it really happen as we think? We have more time now for entertainment. Even we think that, yeah, everything's become efficient, but we are more impatient because we have a new reference point. This efficient, that's rubbish. I want to prove this one. Oh, now it's too slow. Shall we notice that efficiency is a concept? Without comparison, we don't know what is efficient or not. Can we say nature is not efficient or efficient? We don't know. Actually, don't know, do we? We only compare it to some standard. And we want more and more quickly, more efficient, get the most from life. Do we notice that as a human being, we have such a strong craving for it? And why doing internet? Why using internet? It keeps meeting our desire time and time again, to meet our pleasure of being more efficient, being faster. But we are still unhappy. If everything works, yeah, if we can make everything more efficient, and everybody should be happy. But look at now. You have much more time than ever to worry something because efficiency. Now you have much more time than ever to be depressed. Now you have much more time than ever to be anxious.
Much more time to do your own cooking.
Just notice that. Notice that why Facebook is becoming so popular. Because like Facebook and other social networks, it's a good platform to build up our self-image. We won't try to use one image to impress others. And the others also have the same intention to us. So we have changed our communication totally. It's no longer human interactions. It's only image interactions. When the communication is based on image, think about that. The comparison is unavoidable, right? If you find your image is better than others, you enjoy this superiority for a while. But when you find out other people's image is better than you get hurt. The green eye monsters just stay with you. Because in our life, we always think people look at things with an image. And internet facilitate to extreme. Think about how many times do you do each month to change your logo, change your icon. How many times do you do to share your photos on Instagram and try to have the best selfie? To have that picture, maybe you have done a few, maybe 10 times or 20 times and spend a few hours to make it as beautiful as possible. Because we know that everybody rely on that image. So we try to beautify that image, not our mind. So everybody is becoming so pretentious. That's why even when we are applying for a job, we only consider beautifying the CV, not the mind. That's what most people do nowadays. And that's why the internet has such a very big impact on us. Because it makes this situation extreme. Even when you have a friend on Facebook and you post a very beautiful picture one day, and she or he didn't give you a thumb, and you will ponder over it for a few days. Maybe you become resentful. Probably it happens a lot, right? No, our mind is so petty because the internet. We care about so much small details. When we post picture, we expect how many people will give a thumb. It's just changed our way of thinking totally. In the past, just we said before, when we have no, when we wait for reply, it can be 2 days, 2 weeks. It won't bother us. But now, we care too much to a new level because the internet, the way of interacting. Even using WhatsApp, we can see whether the message has been delivered or not, or whether people has read the message or not. What's the? That's, that makes our mind really petty. In the past, we don't care about at all, but now we care about too much. Think about another very important task about internet. How many of us are multitasking nowadays? Some people can use mobile phones while riding bicycle. That's also multitasking. Very typical Dutch phenomenon, anyway. But for others, how many times do you go through the Facebook page, and sometimes you are writing email, and sometimes you also listen to some music, and watching the YouTube video as background?
I couldn't do it.
But somebody can. Yeah. How many people are doing that? How many people are using phones while you are having a lunch? How many times you are using phones when you are in the subway or on the tram? Nowadays, I really enjoy going out on the tram because it's a beautiful sight when everybody just look ahead to watch phones. I just look at them, wow, what a beautiful scenery. And even some phones, like I remember this year or last year, there's a Samsung or some kind of foldable phones. One of the features is that you can multitask because the phone. It's become a selling point. It seems that multitasking is a must, is a skill everybody should have. But let's look at multitasking. Do human beings can really multitask or not? When we look at multitasking, actually it's not at all, right? We just quickly switch the attention from one task to another. But in that short time, you're still doing one thing. You can't really hold in two things and more at the same time. But what it means multitasking actually is this kind of a swift switch attention in short time. 3 minutes for email, 3 minutes for Facebook, 3 minutes for YouTube, so to speak. That's what we mean multitask. But what's the ramification with that? Because we switch our attention so quickly, it activates a lot of parts of neurons. So what's the direct consequence? Isn't our mind overactivated because of multitasking? Yeah. When we multitask, we make our mind overactivated. So people may ask, what's the issue of being overactivated? When our mind is overactivated, means that a bunch of neurons are running beyond our control. They can randomly connect into new neuron loops, which means that we can have a lot of random thoughts. Just like half an hour ago when you are meditating, the thoughts pop up. If your mind is overactivated, lots of thoughts will pop up. That's the source of all kinds of activities. So because the overactivation of the mind, you just naturally think more. Because the neurons are randomly connected into a new mental loop, and you just can't stop. And it is so subtle until you have the awareness of that. Because internet is so convenient, right? The computer now is very powerful. The mobile phone is very powerful. It can run multiple programs at the same time. And we are all craving for efficiency. And you want to try to show that you are smart by being able to multitask sometimes. Think about our intention. It's ridiculous. And then we end up being overactivated. And then we give a name. Oh, I got burned out. So that's the things we need to notice. If not in the past, probably from now on in your life, notice this tiny influence. It makes a difference in your life. If your mind is active, not quiet, you couldn't look within. Just like a rough sea. If you throw a small stone into a rough sea, you won't see any creeper in that water. But if your mind is like a peaceful lake, any small disturbance will catch your attention, right? So to take care of your mind, you need to keep your mind peaceful and quiet at first. And then we need to notice that the challenge that brought by internet to the peace of the mind. The way is not to. Here I'm not saying don't use the internet, but is that we need to find a way, use our wisdom to re-establish a relationship between you and the internet. For example, never multitask. Don't switch your attention too quickly. If you spend 1 hour on this stuff and then switch your attention to another thing for the next hour, it's totally perfect. But if you 1 minute for this and next 1 minute for that, it only activates your mind because the neurons can be easily triggered, but it takes some time to quieten down. So it's easy to have a thought, right? But it's not easy to let go of the thought. That's also because of neuron. It's easy for a neuron to run, but it's not easy to let it stop. And to let it stop, we need to use wisdom. That's why we look within to understand how the mind works. It's all about neurons. So look at the internet. Look at our way of life. We still appreciate that the internet is a great thing, right? Make life good in some aspects. But we also knew that everything is a double-sided sword. You can get the benefit from it, but you can also suffer from it. What time is it? I think now this session comes to an end. Let's have a 5 minutes break. And after that, let's do another 10-minute meditation to end today's session, shall we? Yeah. So, all right, so now let's do another 10-minute meditation. Because for the past 1 hour, most people don't speak, but I think your mind is still very active because you are giving your attention to your own mind to reflect these issues and questions. So the thing is that we need to always keep our mind peaceful. That's the top of priority. Only when our mind is peace, we can think clearly. We can find the clarity. So now let's do this meditation again. 10 minutes, still breath meditation. And then I can turn off the lights. We can do it in darkness and quieten the mind. So everyone can live here with peace and calm. Shall we do it now? Perfect. So the final message. So I think it's not easy for everybody to make a time, to make it possible to come here to listen to this lecture or meditation session. The thing is that you need to do it yourself. You don't have to come here every time. The thing that you need to give your attention to your mind, to notice all kinds of changes or influences. If it's possible, I'm really inviting you to do meditation every day. If it doesn't have to be very long, maybe only 10 minutes per day. Like first thing in the morning, or just before your bedtime. Just give you some time and space to be in solitude, to observe breath in that meditation, and try to bring that awareness to your life. Because the environment is always influencing us, and we are always changing our mind because environment. But I hope everybody can notice that we can also change our mind from within. And that's why we are talking about meditation. To notice the influence, to not let it get into you, is also change, right? A change that lets you not be influenced by the unwholesome influence. I think everybody can do it as long as we give our attention fully at this moment to the mind. I hope this practice can change our life little by little. If we know how to live a life, nothing will be an issue, right? And finally, thank you for being here tonight to make this event possible. And I just wish you a happy and peaceful evening and the following week.